The FBI now says 2 Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a potentially toxic fungus that could ravage crops in the United States. They were trying to bring those to the homeland. Now, one of those suspects is in custody, will appear in a federal courtroom tomorrow at 1 p.m. The other is in China after he was denied entry into the U.S. while trying to smuggle in that biological pathogen last year. Really interesting details coming up. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany here with my co-host, Emily Compagno. Also joining us, Laura Trump, host of My View with Laura Trump, Kayleigh McGee-White, Fox News contributor, and Ari Fleischer, Fox News contributor and former White House press secretary. Well, the FBI warning Americans that our food supply may be the target of attacks from China. Here's a photo of the fungus found at the Detroit airport last year. It was found in 4 plastic baggies. It was stashed into wads of tissue paper. And authorities say that the toxins cause, quote, vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in both humans and livestock. What were they doing with this? Why were they trying to bring this into our country? Now, according to a U.S. Attorney's office in Michigan, the 34-year-old Chinese researcher who works at the University of Michigan intentionally hid the samples in his backpack because he knew that the restrictions on importing them existed. The professor claims he had hoped to do further research on the fungus at his University of Michigan lab. FBI Director Kash Patel says, quote, this case is sobering. It's a reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives. Smuggling a known agroterrorism agent into the U.S. is not just a violation of law, it's a direct threat to national security. Now, the details here are chilling. I have the complaint here. Carrier Bond pulled out some really interesting details, Emily. So listen to this. Juan is the woman. There was the boyfriend and girlfriend. So Juan's the woman. The FBI has evidence that she had done this before. She had worked with someone else to smuggle in the same pathogen. She gave the other person detailed instructions on how to smuggle it in a book and said there are usually no problems. Rest assured, I have mailed these before. So you wonder how many times she's done this. And then she lied on her visa, saying she was studying a topic distinct from the use of this pathogen. This raises all kinds of questions about subterfuge and frequency.
Absolutely. Look, this is absolutely frightening. And most frightening is how under the prior administration, this stuff was just swept under the rug in terms of the perceived and actual threat. Now, we know under the Trump first administration that Secretary of State Pompeo deployed a maximum pressure against China in all of those arenas. He saw and articulated that the threats to our intellectual property, our college campuses, our physical military bases, and so much more was profound and real. And if you look at the DOJ history of prosecutions and arrests, it was sky high because they were deploying resources toward this articulated threat. Cut to the Biden administration, and I guess everything's awesome. And now we're seeing the fruits of that investment by the CCP. This is on the heels as well of University of Michigan, other students that were arrested and prosecuted for counter surveillance, and so much more. So look, this dovetails in with the topic as well of the visas and the college campuses of the students, right? And over 27% of foreign students being from China. And there's the direct correlation is obviously not China related. It's CCP related. And the fact that this administration now sees this for what it is and is dedicated to preventing this kind of thing is so relieving. But we have to know that the seeds have been planted and really buried deep under the prior administration. So for me, this is one in what is likely the tip of the iceberg.
I think you're right. You know, sadly, Laura, when you look at this woman's background, she got Chinese government funding for her work. And not only that, some of the information that she had on her said there was membership and loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, I think the overall takeaway is something that we've heard Donald Trump talk about for a long time. I think, you know, you look at China, you look at the CCP, this is our greatest geopolitical foe, I think, in the entire world. I did an interview for my show this weekend with John Radcliffe, the CIA director. He said they are specifically looking and putting so much investment in China because they are such a big threat. When I look at this and I think about what it says there, that it could take out livestock, that it could take out all of our food supply, it could cause reproductive issues for humans. This is an overall push, I believe, from the CCP to try and take down the United States of America. There's a book called the 100-year marathon, and it details the fact that China has in the background been waging this kind of silent war that most Americans don't know about to try and usurp America as a superpower of the world. This seems like another step in that direction. Look at TikTok in China. These kids are all learning how to play, the cello, the violin. They're doing things to improve themselves. Look at it in America. We're teaching our kids to twerk. Look at the education between China and America. They have surpassed our American students long ago. When you look at this, you look at China buying up farmland, and then I look at something like this, to me it says this is another step in China trying to take over America as a superpower.
Yeah, and John Radcliffe, the perfect person to talk to, he was a part of the first Trump administration when they were taking on Confucius institutes on college campuses. Right. So they've been on this for a long time. Ari, the most chilling detail of this 25-page complaint is this. There's an interesting WeChat exchange between this young woman and her boyfriend. 1 week before she smuggled the pathogen into the United States, or he did, he told his girlfriend, once this is done, everything else will be easy, to which she replied, my seedlings are not usable yet. You could read that any which way, but it's a chilling way to read it when you compound it with the symptoms that Laura mentioned, reproductive birth defects, if this got out into the U.S. population.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more from law enforcement when they get into the details of this today. How deep does this go? What do they suspect? But what this takes me back to is after September 11th. After September 11th, the CIA concluded, and they said to the White House, that it's not a question of if, it's a question of when there will be a second attack. And the second attack that we feared the most and prepared the hardest to prevent was a biological attack, because that can cause the greatest destruction. And don't forget, we're dealing with a China that regularly hacks and infiltrates America's industrial infrastructure. They have made it a state business to get inside American systems, to disrupt them, to steal from us, to take, to harm us, not to mention what they've done with fentanyl to poison us. This is the China we deal with. And if this does turn out to be, if the investigators say, if the Department of Justice reveals that this does appear to be tied to a biological attack, I don't know what the next step has to be with China, because that's an act of war. And we've got to be very cautious. I don't want to overplay this, but as you pointed out, Emily, this is frightening. If they're going to biologically mess with our food supply, we cannot sit back and take this.
No, you have to act, and I'm confident the commander-in-chief would act in an appropriate fashion. Kaylee, when you look at this and the events of this week, and then you look at the policies of the Trump administration, President Trump said, I want to look at visas on college campuses with these individuals who are protesting. And then we get that horrific attack where 8 Jewish men and women are burned because of their religion, a guy who overstayed his visa. Then you had Marco Rubio Thursday say, we're going to look at China visas too. And then you get this. I mean, they've been ahead of the ballgame here. And if there's not a footnote to substantiate the policies they're making, if there's not a better one than this, I don't know what will convince people.
Well, and Ari asked what the next step is. The next step is to revoke every single Chinese student visa. Keep in mind, this is the second national security-related incident involving a Chinese visa that we've learned about this week. There was another report earlier this week that a student in the University of Michigan, another Chinese national, fled the country after illegally voting in Michigan's election in November. Yeah, right. And he apparently voluntarily released his passport before doing so. But this is a pattern of behavior, and we need to keep in mind that China has a law requiring every single one of its citizens to spy on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. You see this with some of the details that were revealed in this affidavit, where this researcher was still receiving funding from the Chinese Communist Party to conduct research in the United States. And they are exploiting our visa program to do that. We are essentially holding open the front door to allow our greatest adversary to flood our country with people who are spying on us and undermining our national security. And you mentioned subterfuge, but what the Chinese government does in public is just as revealing. Let's remember, last year, a Chinese state-run media outlet ran an editorial endorsing the pro-Hamas protests on U.S. college campuses because they know that if they target our higher education system and if they target my generation in particular, they can create division in our country, and that is exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, without question.
Hey, everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.